Today I am going to attempt to fix this General Electric box fan. The model on this one is the W22 model. There's the logo up there. This is the plastic bladed model, as you can see. And ever since I got in this fan a few years ago, I really haven't been able to really run it because it makes an awful buzzing sound on low speed. It's so annoying that I just cannot use it. And thinking that, something doesn't sound right, I just put it off to the side and wait till the day where I take a look at it and get it, see what's wrong with it. I didn't want to use it thinking that, something doesn't sound right. So, but I'm going to see what I can do today. Now, off camera, I did do a little analyzing myself, and I believe I believe I did find the source of the problem. So this is what it would sound like when I turn it on. I'll turn it on low speed. If you listen very closely, it is not supposed to sound like that. It does not do it on medium or high. I'm not going to test that because the blade is not on the shaft fully, and it might end up flying off if I put it on any faster. For the longest time, I believe it was a bearing issue, and considering how difficult these motors are to work on, there would have been no way of me fixing the bearing for this. But then I noticed that, when I turn it off, it stops making that noise, and it only does it on low. And I took the blade off. Let's see. I took the blade off to access the shaft. And sometimes you can feel if the bearing or bearings are bad on a motor. Normally, back and forth position like that is normal. But up and down, or side to side, if that moves, that means the bearing or bearings are bad. And this does not have that. So this bearing in this motor is perfectly fine. So then, I did look up videos about, what could be causing a buzzing sound on the motor. I found a video, it's a user on YouTube that goes by Jordan U. If you want to check out his channel, I'll leave a link to in the description. He explained in one of his videos that, a buzzing sound could be due to a loose winding here. Any of these windings in the motor vibrating could cause that buzzing sound. And I looked and feel there is one little loose one here. It's not much. None of them all the other ones don't feel loose. The back, unfortunately, I can't feel for any of them because these motors are completely sealed shut. Here's the stator part, and here's the back motor shell. These are pretty much sealed shut. These are not going to be able to separate. So I really can't feel if any of them are loose in there. I do not believe, though, that this is a winding issue, a loose windings. If you take a good close look, this is a shaded pole motor. I mean, you can see the shaded coil there, if it's not so blurry. There, right there. So these have, I don't know how many shaded coils, but there is one loose on here. One is moving around, and it's not supposed to do that. And it's this particular one right here. If I can move it around a little bit. See how that moves? It moved a little bit. It's not supposed to be moving. So I'm going to plug this back in. And I'm going to turn it on with the blade off. And you're going to see something here. That doesn't look normal. If I can get it to show on camera. Did you see that? It just moved. It's not supposed to do that. Let's see if I can get it to vibrate. See that? It just moved. That is not supposed to be doing that. And I'm pretty sure that is what's causing that buzzing sound. It's the shaded coil. One of them is loose. So, how am I going to get this to not be moving? Well, I'm going to attempt to spray varnishing on it and see if that hardens it. If that doesn't work, I might have to use a different alternative somehow. I don't know what that is yet, but let me try to spray varnishing on there. I did notice that it does move a little bit on the back side as well. I'm going to try to spray varnishing back there as well in this spot on the other side and see what I can do about that. And hopefully that this varnishing will harden that shaded coil and not move around anymore. Alright, I'm going to varnish the little spot here where this loose shaded pole is, shaded coil, and see if it works. I'm going to use this. This is a spray-on clear insulation varnish, EL600. This is the same varnish that Jordan U uses. Also recommends that. So that's what I'm going to use. I found this on the eBay for I think roughly $10. So it's fairly inexpensive. And it's best to spray this outside. I'm wearing a glove where I'm going to be handling it just for extra precaution. And obviously you don't want to try to breathe in this stuff. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry, and hopefully that fixes the problem. I don't know if it will. That's why we're attempting. So I just sprayed that one shaded pole right there. Just sprayed that. I'm going to wait several hours until this dries before attempting to run it. I don't know if this is going to fix it. I don't know. But we'll find out within a certain amount of hours. I tend to wait. Alright, it's been a couple of hours, and I did check it here, and it is dry. Doesn't feel sticky or anything. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and see if it vibrates at all. Well, that's promising so far. Let's get a let's put a load on the motor by putting the blade on. Go. Yeah. That might have fixed the problem. The cabinet vibrates a little bit, if you hear that. Well, I'm gonna have to let this run for, I don't know, at least a couple of hours and see if it holds up. I'll strike it on medium. Okay, something flew out. What flew out of there? Plastic. Well, so far this is pretty promising. But again, I'm gonna have to let it run for a while and see if how I'm gonna have to let it run for some time of how well it will hold up. Alright, I've been running this fan now for the past several hours, and so far it has never made that annoying buzzing sound. So I do believe this is now fixed, which is great, because now I am going to start using this fan. That is so much more better. So, the varnishing did work for that loose shaded coil or pole, whatever you want to call it. Well, I am glad that this is fixed now and no longer makes that annoying buzzing sound. Now I can finally start using this fan more comfortably this time.